Welcome to the Ecommerce Alley podcast, where we believe that great brands are built on passionate leadership, smart operations, and of course, powerful marketing. My name is Josh Coffey. I am your host today, and we have some good stuff we're going to be talking about. If you don't know me, I'm the fully caffeinated founder of the Ecommerce Alley, where we help coach and implement strategic digital marketing campaigns for e-commerce brands in particular. So everything we teach you is straight from the streets. This is straight from the trenches, straight from the streets, and whatever analogy you want to use. But today, we're going to be talking about the holidays. Now, this is going to be a two-parter. All right, so what I'm gonna be covering today is I'm gonna be diving into the holiday plan that we have and that we're implementing for our clients, or we're doing with our coaching clients. And I'm just gonna lay out the marketing strategy that we're using as well as what we had. It's the improvement of actually what we did last year. But before I do that, I just wanna take a moment to say, I'm glad we're back. Man, it's been a month. We actually had to take the month of September off from podcasting because we had so much going on. We had this 3-day live boot camp going on at the start of September. I'm gone on vacation. We held these holiday training master classes. We have a holiday boot camp that actually is beginning. And so many things going on. But I'm glad we're back. We took a little bit of a sabbatical because we just straight up needed to take a breath of fresh air, or come up for air at least. And so I'm glad to be back and talking to you guys about what we're going to be doing, as well as some of the interviews we have lined up going through the end of the year. But what I want to talk about in part one, and this is going to be a two-parter, so you got to come back next week for part two. I'm going to talk to you about the holidays. You know, the holidays, they sneak up on us as if they happen at a different time every year, but they happen at the same time every year. So what I'm here to tell you is it's time to prepare if you're not prepared already. So if you're listening to this on the day that it releases, then the time is now, all right? And if you're listening a little later, the time is still now. Just, you might if you're listening a week or two in, you may need to just kind of, move a little bit faster in order to do some of these things. But I want to break down this sales strategy, this marketing strategy, to really amplify your sales during the holidays. But before I do, just so you know, according to the US Census Bureau quarterly e-commerce retail sales report, they couldn't come up with a shorter name. That's the first thing. But second, in the last 5 years, there's been some trends in the e-commerce world regarding sales. And this is in the US. I don't have a global scale, but I have reports from the US Census Bureau on e-commerce for the US. And if you look at, and I know, by the way, obviously you probably already know these numbers because you eagerly await to read these detailed reports, so I'm probably not telling you anything that you don't already know. But just in case you don't await these quarterly reports and dive nose deep into them, I'm gonna share a couple fun facts here. In 2018, during Q4, e-commerce sales were $132.8 billion. Then in 2019, they were $158 billion, which is a $26 billion increase. Then in 2020, we all know the pandemic happened and things went haywire in the e-com world. Heck, you might have started a business as a pandemic baby and you have your business, right? That happened to so many people we that I know and that we work with. So in 2020, there were $206.7 billion in sales in e-commerce. In 2021, there were $218.5 billion. And in 2022, which we don't have the numbers for this yet, but Q2 was already $257.3 billion. We don't have Q3 data yet because when we're recording this, we're still in Q3. But from 2018 just to 2021, in those few years, e-commerce revenue just during Q4 in the States went from $132.8 billion to $218.5 billion, which is a whopping 64.5% increase in spending online in only a 4-year period of time. You're talking we almost doubled. By 2022, it's gonna be double in 5 years, like doubled spending. So this is only in the US. Obviously, if you go outside of this, the numbers are a little bit different. But is there a trend you notice? Well, the trend is it's going up. As the years go on, the sales and the spending online is going up. And after the pandemic, people became accustomed to purchasing online. And every year, Shopify publishes a report from all their Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales. And what's interesting is last year, 2021, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, by the numbers on Shopify's website, their total global sales through Shopify in that 4-day period of time was $6.3 billion. There were 47 million people that purchased things. The average cart value was a little over $100 at $100.70. And the peak sales per minute in sales on Shopify was $3.1 million per minute being spent. That's a lot of sales. And that's just on Shopify's platform. If you look at the US and retail in general, in Q4 of last year in 2021, there was 1.2 trillion spent in the United States in the fourth quarter, which is the strongest retail growth that there has ever been in a single year in the last 20 years of the United States track record. So these are numbers that should be exciting. It shows that there is this massive opportunity every Q4, every holiday season, and it only gets bigger. It only gets bigger. Online spending is increasing and increasing and increasing, which is why I believe e-commerce is one of the most lucrative opportunities of our time. It's one of the most lucrative opportunities to gain freedom, to build something meaningful, and to do it from the comfort of your own home, and then eventually the comfort of your own maybe office and warehouse. And it gives you so much opportunity. And Q4 is the largest opportunity by and large for a majority of e-commerce brands. Now, yes, some trend heavier in the summer months. I have a friend who owns a golf brand, and they do really, really well. Their Christmas time and their holiday season is really June through August. Obviously, golf is bigger in the summer. And so these numbers are exciting. What that means is you have to have an intentional plan of action to really take advantage of this, because we want to put you you want to be in a position that in January, you're sitting there the first or second week in January, you're sitting there and you're in a heavy cash position that gives you options. All right. And so those numbers I read, those are just Shopify and insider intelligence numbers. But we do this same thing with our clients, and we see similar trends. 3 different clients. I'm going to give you some examples. So one of our clients last year, the food and beverage space, they generated approximately $260,000 between November and December. I'm just going to use those 2 months because those are really the 2 big months, right? Between those 2 months, they generated $260,000, which was equivalent to 26% of their revenue for the entire year. But they did that in 2 months. And the exciting thing is actually, while that client did that $256K just during November and December, we're now doing more than $350,000 per month. So I'm excited because we're probably gonna have our first potential $800,000 or $1 million month this December. But it just shows in those 2 months, they made 26% of their entire year's worth of revenue in 2 months. We have another client, they're in the apparel niche. They did $81,000 during those 2 months, which was equivalent to 25.1%. So about a quarter of their entire revenue. Then let's go on a further extreme with another client that's much larger. And in Q4, altogether, they did 9.2 million, which is equivalent to in those 2 months, they did 9.2 million, which is equivalent to 31.4% of their entire annual revenue. But if you look at just November, they're a bigger Black Friday, Cyber Monday, November brand, so December isn't as heavy for them. But of the 9.2 million between those 2 months, they did 5.1 million of that just in November alone. So those 2 months were equivalent to 31.4% of their business. Now, what does this mean to you? Maybe you don't have numbers like that, and that's okay. Every business is at a different stage, but every business goes through those same revenue tiers. So what does this mean? This means that you have to prepare. They don't just walk into November and December and then suddenly, boom, we have record months without intentionality. You have to be intentional, because as the months come, and they come pretty fast, you have to be prepared. And the reality is, most people, at least people that I've spoken to and that we meet, they don't prepare. They wait until the average time. Crazy fun fact. We have a Facebook group for the Ecommerce Alley. I think we're at about 2,000 people strong now. And we've been around for over a year, so we've been through this, and then I've been through this for 9 years with our business and in our agency working with brands. And most people wait till about 2 weeks before Black Friday to actually begin preparing their campaigns. And I'll tell you something. What I've seen is business owners that plan their holidays now They produce more revenue in the holidays. They are less stressed during the holidays, and they're able to rake in more profits that then put them in a heavy cash position to start the new year. But the people that wait until the last minute, those people lose out to their competition because they don't have enough time, sheer time or capacity to implement as many campaigns. And so by default, they just lose revenue. They just lose market share to their competitors. They're stressed out of their minds during the holidays, and they have to sacrifice time with their friends, their family during the holidays. And I don't know about you, but like, I feel like as soon as you hit the week of Thanksgiving through the new year, it's such a fast blur. It's almost like it doesn't even, like that 5-6 week period of time, it almost feels like it doesn't exist, because it's like, all right, we have Thanksgiving here, we have Black Friday. Oh, and then next week we have Thanksgiving with my family, because we did your family this week. And then we have Christmas parties, and then we have Friendsgiving, and then we have boom, Christmas, and then there's the new year, and then it's just gone. And so try growing your business and implementing and building new marketing campaigns in the midst of all of that, while doing fulfillment and trying to allocate time to be with your family and be present and actually enjoy the fruits of your labor from the year and from the quarter, is really, really hard if you're not prepared. And so what I want to do is I'm going to give you what we call a 4-phase profit maximizer strategy. So this is our 4 phases for the holidays. This is like our 4-phase marketing strategy. And I'm going to give you the first 2 phases in this podcast episode. And then in the next one, I'm going to give you the second 2 phases. But regardless of what you're doing for the holidays, or if you're even thinking about it, or maybe you're just now starting to think about it, the biggest advice that I have is to start sooner than later. There's a great quote by an entrepreneur I'm a huge fan of named Alex Hormozi. And he says, and I heard this in a podcast, so maybe don't quote my quote, it might be incorrect. He said something to the lines of, mistakes love a rushed decision. Mistakes love a rushed decision, because when you move really fast or you make rushed decisions, it's easier to make mistakes. And I was like, I really like that. And it's kind of similar to the holidays in planning. Like poor holiday sale, I would say poor holiday sales love a procrastinator. Poor holiday sales love someone who waits till the last minute. And you're gonna have poor holiday sales if you wait till the last minute. And so if you're listening right now, what I want you to do is I want you to raise your right hand, unless you're, not able to do that, or you're driving, maybe it's not as safe, and solemnly swear that you will not wait 2 weeks or a week before Black Friday to begin planning Black Friday. All right, so once you've done that, we now need to commit to saying, okay, what do I need to do to begin planning, right? Because you don't have that long. We don't have that long. This podcast is going to release, I believe, October 3rd, and you're sitting at less than 2 months, 50-something days until actual Black Friday begins. So let's go ahead. Let's dive into the first 2 phases. All right. So I'm going to give you all the 4 phases, and then we're going to talk through the first 2. So all 4 phases are as follows. October is phase 1, and this is what we call the website and offer preparation phase. And this is where we're preparing everything, and we're preparing our website, we're preparing assets. This is where we create margin. We create this buffer so that as we get into November and December, we have this buffer. We've worked in advance, and it's just gonna remove this level of stress. You're more prepared. You'll make less mistakes. And so this is phase 1. Phase 1 is the month of October. We have our website and offer preparation. We need to prepare both of those things, and I'm gonna dive into that. Phase 2 and 3 both happen in November. Phase 2 is what we call our Black Friday VIP pre-sale. This is where we're actually gonna generate sales. We're gonna grow a huge email list, and we're gonna generate sales from these people before Black Friday, so we can start capitalizing on people spending before they start spending on Black Friday. So that's phase 2. And this happens before Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And then you have Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And this is Friday all the way through Monday. This is phase 3. So phase 1, website and offer preparation. We use October for that. We're gonna get ahead. And then phase 2 is in November. And this is what we call our Black Friday VIP presale. get them spending before Black Friday. And then we have phase 3, which is Black Friday through Cyber Monday. And then phase 4 are Christmas sales, all right? So those are the 4 phases. In the Christmas sales, generally, we just say December is the Christmas sales side of things. So December 1st, and you just use a whole month for that. So those are the 4 phases. So I'm gonna be talking about, in this episode, we're gonna dive into the first 2. So phase 1, website and offer preparation, and phase 2, Black Friday VIP pre-sale. So done right, your website should yield a lot more traffic during the holidays than it normally does. Now it's naturally normally you're gonna naturally see a rise in traffic because people are just searching to buy. They're using Google Shopping more organically. You're gonna see people looking to buy and your traffic will naturally just go up. But it should be much higher if your marketing is really strategic and you're executing properly. So done right, you're gonna have a lot more traffic going to your website during the month, especially the months of November and December. So if you wanna stack the deck for next year, what we do is we always wanna make sure that the first thing is our website is taken care of. If this is the place we have a lot of traffic going to, we need to work on improving the results. And there are 2 dials we're gonna really talk about today within that. And we wanna make sure that it's very, very optimized. So we're gonna do what we call revenue optimization. And this is where we're going to work to maximize our average order value and increase our conversion rate. And so now, yes, you should always be striving to improve those. This isn't just like, oh, during the holidays, I need to maximize my average order value and increase my conversion rate. Like that should be something you always strive to do. But during the holidays, there are a few additional things we're gonna really prioritize it. And then there are a few additional things that are more holiday centric that we're going to do in order to help with that. But our goal is as we prepare our website, we're gonna have this traffic come in and we wanna get as many new customers as possible to spend the largest amount they can as possible, because that is what's going to put you in a strong cash position and grow your customer database so that when you sit there in week 1 of January, you just finished the year, you're sitting in a heavy cash position to where you have the wonderful, beautiful thing called options. Because in January, what happens is CPMs, like the cost of advertising, cost per million, cost per 1,000 impressions on advertising platforms, it plummets. So in Q4, you see CPMs start to rise, the cost of advertising goes up because everybody starts to advertise. And then in Q1, CPMs, cost of advertising, it nosedives. And if you're in a cash position, that is a wonderful thing. I love January through March. Most e-commerce businesses don't, because that is historically one of the slowest times. But it's all based on perspective. Because if you have the perspective of, hey, I'm gonna get in a wonderful cash position to where I can invest at a discounted rate in my advertising, then you're gonna really, really win. See, my perspective is when people are retracting, I want to expand, right? So when people are kind of like, holding their cards to their chest or they're going into defense mode, I'm gonna go into offense mode. And I'm gonna start spending because I know my CPMs are gonna be like 50% lower than they were just the month before. And so the first thing we wanna do is we wanna do revenue optimization. We wanna make sure that our website is prepared and then we prepare our offers in advance. So to prepare for this, there are 2 metrics that we're gonna work on, all right? The first metric is your average order value, and the second metric is conversion rate. So these are 2 loaded metrics. There's so many things you could do to improve and work on both of those. But there are a couple things that we'll do in order to increase these in a pretty efficient, like high impact way. There are tons of different nuanced things you could try to really increase conversion rate. You could do tons of A/B split testing. You could do, there's personalization. There's so many different things you could do, but I'm gonna give you like the highlights, like the highest impact things that take the least amount of time. Because I'm always looking to say, hey, how do I get the highest impact for the least amount of resource, meaning most revenue, most outcome for the least amount of time and money. And so on the average order value side, there are 3 things that we wanna have in place, or that we'll put in place for the holidays. Number 1 is having bundling options. Now, there are two ways to do this. You can build pre-bundles, like we have one client that we're preparing the holidays for right now, and we're taking some of their top selling products and we're building what we're calling trifecta bundles, which is like they're a food brand. And so we know that people love the certain products. And so we're taking those and we're just making those products larger so people have a higher average order value with us, especially during the holidays because food is really huge during the holidays. And so you could pre-bundle, or you could allow people to bundle on their own. And there are different tools to allow you to bundle. We use Bundle Bear a lot with Shopify. There are tons of tools out there for BigCommerce, WooCommerce, Magento. There are tools out there to allow you to bundle, but just high level, allowing bundling is going to increase your average order value. That's the first thing we'll get in play. We'll either pre-build bundles or we'll have a tool where they get to bundle their own. The second thing we're gonna do is we're going to set up pre-purchase upsells. There are different tools to do this. One tool that we will use for all the clients that we work with is Zipify one-click upsells, Zipify OCU. It is only a Shopify tool, at least to my knowledge, but it allows you to do pre-purchase upsells, post-purchase upsells, downsells, thank you page sells. It allows you to do a lot of different things. And so there are other tools out there for the different platforms that you're on, but that's our preference. And so what a pre-purchase upsell is it's simply offering people relevant additional products or offers based on what they have added to their cart. So I go and I add 2 t-shirts to my cart, and then it then promotes, hey, check out this hat. Like, this hat is perfect for these t-shirts. Or they're buying a food item, and then suddenly we try to pre-purchase, upsell them into sauces that go with those products. So the idea is before they even check out, we're trying to get them to add more things that are relevant to their what they have in their cart so far. And you can get really, really granular with this. Like, you could have a ton of different offers based on the products that they have in their cart. And that's probably more valuable to do if you have a higher volume. But if you're newer, a little bit smaller traffic, less orders coming through, then you probably don't want to get that much nuance within it because it's just going to take a lot of time to do that. And so that's pre-purchase upsells. And then the third thing we're going to set up, and this is the final thing on the average order value side of things, is we're going to set up post-purchase upsells, meaning after they have completed the checkout, entered their payment information, and hit purchase or complete purchase. As soon as they check out, we're gonna send them to a one-click upsell page that is a post-purchase. So after they have purchased, we're now gonna upsell them into other products or other bundles. Similar to the pre-purchase, all we're doing is we're now offering something after they have already set up their credit card and placed the order. And so that is a post-purchase upsell. If you just do those 3 things, if you go and you block out 2-3 hours to really invest in saying, hey, how do I figure out my bundles? How do I get my pre-purchase and my post-purchase? Even outside of the holidays, you're gonna increase your average order value. We see people add 20, 30, 40% to their average order value just by doing things like that. Bundling is a really, really big one. We probably see bundling have the greatest impact. So that's one of the dials we're gonna turn. The average order value, we're gonna turn that to prepare our website with bundling, pre-purchase, and post-purchase upsells. Now on the conversion rate side of things, this is where offers starts to come in. What we're going to do is there are 2 things. To turn the dial of conversion rate and really make sure our website is optimized to produce the most revenue, we're gonna make sure that our website is themed for the holiday. If you're doing Black Friday, Cyber Monday, you're gonna use a lot of blacks, you're gonna use a lot of reds. During Christmas, you'll still probably use red. You're gonna incorporate probably more whites, more golds, more greens. And so theming your website to the holidays, or whatever the holiday is going to, we see an increase in conversion during the holidays because of that. And it's my hunch, and this is my non-case study old hunch, is that people are just nostalgic during the holidays. There's a different emotion about the holidays. That's why there are stores that are like Christmas stores that are open 24/7, 365, or they're open all year round selling Christmas stuff because people feel a certain way during the holidays. They feel a certain way about Christmas or a certain way about Thanksgiving and Black Friday and those different moments. And so the first thing we're gonna do, whenever you're running campaigns, just make sure that during the holidays, theme your website, make sure the banner, make sure the featured images, some of the color schemes you may change up temporarily. We see holiday website theming make a difference in conversion. So that's the first thing. Now, the second thing is actually where we see the largest needle being moved from a conversion standpoint. And this is with your offers. So during phase one, like I said, there are two things we're gonna optimize. We're gonna prepare our website, make sure we have bundling, pre-purchase, post-purchase, and make sure we are prepared to theme it to the holidays. And then we're going to have our offers prepared, meaning we're gonna prepare in advance what we want to offer throughout the holiday season, meaning before Black Friday all the way through the end of the year. And this allows us to at least get in advance, start building the creatives that we need to, start preparing the ads, preparing the emails, preparing the banners or the featured images for our website homepages. It allows you in social media networks, it allows us to really start preparing those things. And so when I talk about offer preparation, what I mean is taking your products and positioning them as offers. And so what we have learned is that we don't want to sell products, we want to sell offers. So for example, if I sold candles, I could say, hey, buy our candles. That's one way, or buy our shoes. But a way to position that in an offer would be to say, hey, buy 3 candles, get 1 free. You know, buy 2, get 1 50% off. Or we have one client that they just ended up doing this. They're an apparel brand and they were selling t-shirts and he decided, hey, I'm gonna try some different offers. He tested a lot of offers and then one clicked and it just threw his return on ad spend through the roof. And then his average order value went from like $40 to $71 almost overnight. And what he did was instead of selling t-shirts, he said, buy 2, get 1 for $7. Now that is what we call an offer. And by doing that, his average order value went to $71 from $40 because most people were just buying 1 t-shirt and paying for shipping. And then the moment he shifted it from a product selling to an offer selling, everything changed. And so what we want to do is make sure that we'll take our products and we'll say, hey, how do we position these as offers? And the most standard ones that come to mind are always going to be, oh, site-wide 10% off or dollars off or whatever that is. That is the most simplistic type of an offer, but you can do so much more than that. And so for example, you could actually do tiered percentages off where you say, hey, 10% off the first $100 spent, 15% off the first one after you spend $150 or more, and you could do tiered percentages of that. You could do buy one, get one. You could do free gifts with purchase. You could have gift cards with orders over a certain amount. You could do percentages off particular collections. You could do mix and match bundling. There's so many ways to take your products and position them as offers. But the biggest thing we're going to do is we're just simply going to prepare those offers in advance. Prepare in October what you want to do for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and even what you want to do throughout the Christmas season. So that is phase one. Phase one, we're going to prepare our website and we're going to prepare our offers. And we're going to use October as the month to do that, to create this margin, to create this buffer so that you don't feel stressed. And then when you get there at the end of the year, you could shoot me a message and you can email me, josh@theecommercealley.com. And you can say, Josh, I actually got to spend time with my family and I didn't feel completely stressed out of my mind building marketing campaigns in the midst of the holiday season because I prepared 98% of that in advance, and then I had to adapt for the other 2%. That is what we want to do. But as you go through, I'm gonna break down some stuff in phase 2, and then next week in phase 3 and 4. But as I go through these, what I'm gonna encourage you to do is I'm gonna encourage you to determine what you're going to focus on, because there's a lot you can do in the holidays, and you can always do more, right? But we don't all have unlimited resources, or we don't have an army of marketers that can do that for us. And there's a book called Essentialism by a guy named Greg, and I believe his last name is pronounced McCone. And so Greg has this analogy that he gives, and I think it's wonderful. And he says, if you have a finite amount of energy, you have to determine how that energy gets spent. And so would you rather take your energy and spend it in 1,000 different directions, or take that energy and focus that 1,000 different direction of energy into one direction? That's the concept of being focused in what you actually do. So as we go through the holiday season, just know, yes, there are unlimited things you can do. You could run campaigns every day. We have clients that have resources and they're running an email every single day of the entire year. And on top of that, when you get to holiday seasons like this, instead of sending 30 emails in November, we're gonna be sending 50 to 60 emails in November, and 50 to 60 emails, and then they double it in those 2 months. And so they have capacity, or they have resource, and they have a whole marketing team that's able to do that. If you don't, that's okay. All you need to do is say, hey, what am I gonna take my energy, take my capacity, and focus it on that I can do, and is going to have the greatest impact on my business during the holidays, all right? So with that said, let's dive into phase 2. Now, phase 2 is a unique strategy. This is what we call our Black Friday VIP pre-sale. And what this does is this gets sales coming in before the competition. So from a high level, there are 3 things it does, or three things that's gonna happen. So number 1, we're going to run ads, and we're gonna run our own emails, and we're gonna use our social media to grow a VIP pre-sale list, all right? We're gonna get people to essentially raise their hand and say, yes, I want access to exclusive early bird Black Friday deals from you for your products. So that's what we wanna do. And we wanna put these people into an email list. And so to do that, we're gonna use social media, we're gonna use ads, we're gonna use our existing email database, and we wanna get people to actually raise their hand and say, yes, Josh, I like your products and I want you to tell me when you have deals and give me early bird exclusive access, all right? So that's what we wanna get them raising their hands for. Now, once they get on that list, we're then going to nurture that. We're going to start building excitement up until a pre-sale, and then we're going to run a 5-day sale to them the week before Black Friday. All right, so we're gonna get a list. We want people raising their hands that say, hey, yes, I want exclusive early bird access to your deals as a VIP. And we wanna get that list as big as we possibly can. And then the week before Black Friday and Thanksgiving, this is not the week of, this is the week before. So if I'm actually looking at this year, 2022, the date of that is November 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th. That's a Monday through Friday. So November 14th to 18th, 5 days, the week before Black Friday, Cyber Monday, we're going to run a 5-day VIP pre-sale. And what this means is each day, we're gonna offer them we're gonna send them a different offer via email. Maybe on day 1, we might do percentage off a certain collection. Day 2, we might do a buy 2, get 1 50% off. Day 3, you get the idea. We're gonna have 5 different offers. Now, why do we do this? We do this for a couple reasons. Number 1, we wanna grow our email list and prepare ourselves and get that database as large as possible because we wanna have direct access to people to sell to during the holidays. But second, we wanna get people spending money with less competition. Now, it feels like nowadays, Black Friday becomes the entire month of November. And it just gets early, it feels like it's earlier and earlier, and then it extends longer and longer. It's like Cyber Monday extension, Cyber Monday extension. It just keeps getting all over the place. But what we wanna do ultimately is we do wanna get people spending early. So we have less competition for their dollars than during Black Friday through Cyber Monday. And so here's what the campaign flow is going to be. We're going to use all the marketing channels that we're actively using. So we're gonna use like ads. I'm a huge fan of using Facebook ads for this. We're gonna use our existing email. We're gonna use social media, and we're gonna take these, and you may even put a pop-up on your website. We'll do that too. And we wanna take these different marketing channels, and we wanna drive traffic to an opt-in form. So we'll build a landing page for this, and it's gonna explain that, hey, if you wanna get exclusive early bird Black Friday VIP offers, basically join our list. That's essentially what it's going to say. And so we're gonna use these social media or these different marketing channels, and we drive traffic to that page, and then they opt in and we get them on our VIP list. Now, we do send this to our existing email database. I've had people ask like, hey, well, why don't we just send all these 5 days of deals to our entire list or to my existing database? The reason we don't is because we want people to actually raise their hand and say, yes, I want to get a ton of emails from you during the holidays. That's what we want them to say. Because if you blast your entire list, the same volume you're going to be blasting these VIPs, you're going to turn a lot of people off. It'll hurt some deliverability for you. And then you're going to get a lot more unsubscribes as a result of that. And so what we want to do is we want to get our existing lists. We want to email them and say, hey, we're going to be doing some exclusive Black Friday early bird sales. If you want access to those sales, click here and join this list. So we send our existing database there, and then when they enter it, we just tag them and we put them in the list of the VIPs. And so these VIPs, by the way, these are not VIP spenders. And I know in Klaviyo, it'll automatically build that you could build VIPs as a list. This is people that are actually just saying, hey, we call it VIPs, call it what you want, but it's basically your pre-sale list of people who want access to early bird deals. So we're gonna take these marketing channels, drive them to that page. They'll be able to opt in, they'll join that list. And then once they do, we send them several emails. We'll send them 3 to 5 emails leading up to those 5 days of sales. And these are what we call excitement building emails, meaning we're gonna say, hey, you're in, here's how it's gonna work, and it's going to begin at this date. And I actually have one in front of me real quick. I'm just gonna kind of read a little segment from this so you kind of get an idea. So we send them this first email and it says early access granted. It has some graphics. It says we're excited about Black Friday, Cyber Monday around here. You signed up, so your new candles are so close you could smell them. We'll be running these 5 exclusive deals for 5 days. So check your inbox daily so you don't miss them. The pre-sale starts November 16th. And so, and this was last year, so I'm just kind of reading from last year. But essentially, we're going to welcome them. And then leading up to the pre-sale, they're gonna get another 3 to 5 emails educating them on what makes our business unique. What are the products we offer? How do we differentiate from the competition? We're kind of indoctrinating them and nurturing them about our brand and the products that we sell. And by that point, they've usually clicked around and seen some different products on the website. And so we're gonna send traffic, they're gonna opt in, they're gonna get on this list. Once they're on our early bird VIP list, they're gonna get some excitement building emails that will lead them up to the date of the actual to the very first pre-sale date, which is this year, it is November 14th. And so we're gonna run ads, we're gonna send emails, we're gonna use social media, we're gonna grow that list, we're gonna excite them, nurture them up until the 5 days. And then we're gonna have those 5 days. And the day before, so the Sunday before the 5 days, we send them an email saying, hey, tomorrow, the first deal goes live. You're getting exclusive access to deals this week that nobody else gets access to, but you get them because you are one of our Black Friday early bird VIPs. And so the day before the deals begin, we just remind them and say, here's how it's gonna work. Every day, there's gonna be a new offer. The offer is only valid for that day. And then Monday through Friday, we're sending them 5 different offers. Monday has one type of offer. Tuesday has different. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. They're all different. And we're only going to email them, and we'll email them 1 email in the morning and 1 email in the evening. And so by doing this, there are some things that are happening. Number 1, we're driving sales, which is important. We want to drive sales before other people are spending, right? That's one of the goals. We're driving sales. But the second thing that's happening is we're actually testing 5 different unique offers to our database to see what they respond to the most. Because when we try different types of offers, some will respond better than others for your ideal customers. So this candle brand that I'm talking about, we did this last year for them. We did 5 different pre-sale deals. And the first one we opened up with was 25% off our entire fall jar collection because they're candles in these jars. And so 25% off the entire collection. And that's a pretty enticing offer. 25% off, that's a pretty steep deal, no minimums, really great deal. But then we ended up testing the 5th day's offer, crushed it. The 5th day's offer did 4 times more in revenue than, it did more in revenue, let me just say, in that one day than all the other 4 days combined. And that offer for them happened to be a buy 2, get 1 50% off. That was the offer that just crushed it for them. So because that was the offer that crushed it for them, not only did we make sales throughout the whole 5 days, but we just learned some things about our customers. We learned they don't respond well to the first 4 offers nearly as well as this last one. So that just armed us with the ammunition we needed to have an even greater Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And we did what we call a replay. And I'm gonna talk about this in part 2. We did a replay campaign of that type of offer throughout December with different products. So with that offer, we said, hey, buy 2, get 1 for 50% off our Christmas collection, so you can get the Christmas stuff a little bit early. And so the buy 2, get 1 for 50% off, that was the offer type, and it applied to our Christmas collection. So we took that offer type and we applied it store-wide, and we applied it to different collections throughout the Christmas season, and that is what carried us through it. And so all of this is done over email. And so these people, they come to the list. Once they're in the list, they're in there, and we're able to then send them these emails for 5 days. We create an injection of cash before everybody is spending as heavily during Black Friday through Cyber Monday. We've acquired all these new customers who, by the way, are 7 times more likely to buy from us in the future, which prepares us for the next 2 phases, which is Black Friday through Cyber Monday and Christmas. And so we get cash injection, we get to test all these different offers for the customers, find what works best, and then we can go tweak some additional offers through the remaining holiday season based on what we see from that data. So, wow, we covered a lot here. First of all, you need to prepare. You have to prepare now, because mistakes love a rush decision, just like poor holiday sales love a procrastinator. Then we talked about phase 1, revenue optimization, your AOV and your conversion rate. And then we talked about phase 2, the Black Friday VIP pre-sales, where we build your list and we get them to buy early. We prime them for the holidays, and that helps position us in a great position for having good cash to prepare for the new year. Now, if you do want a visual breakdown of this entire strategy, go to the Alley, or go to alleypodcast.com/BFCM. And I'm gonna have our team redirect that to our Miro brainstorming doc that visually lays this all out. But you have been listening to the E-Commerce Alley podcast, produced by the legendary Dylan Counts. We're back at it again, and we are stronger and more refreshed than ever, I would say, Dylan. And so we're excited to be back here in the studio recording things. We love you guys. We'll see you in part 2.